All right, so you know that classic story about the fisherman and the businessman?
Oh, yeah.
The one where the businessman like tells the fisherman to work harder so he can eventually like kick back on the beach just like him.
Right, right.
It always felt like a commentary on like, hustle culture and valuing experiences over just making tons of money.
Yeah, definitely.
But we're diving into an article today that kind of turns that whole interpretation upside down.
It really does.
Yeah, it's pretty interesting.
It challenges all those typical takeaways.
Yeah, so for anyone who maybe needs a refresher, can you like walk us through the story?
Yeah, sure. So you've got this fisherman just chilling on the beach. He's caught enough fish for the day and he's just relaxing.
Living the dream, right?
Exactly. And then along comes this businessman who's just baffled by this.
Totally.
He's like, why aren't you fishing more? Build a fleet, create a massive business empire. And the irony is, of course, that the businessman's ultimate goal is to be able to relax on the beach, too.
Right,
So
exactly, like the fisherman's already doing.
Yeah, it's funny how this simple story makes you really think about what's important in life.
Yeah, for sure. I'll admit, like, my first instinct is always to be team fisherman. Like, who wouldn't want that laid-back life?
Right.
But this article makes me wonder if there's more to the businessman's perspective than meets the eye.
Definitely. I think we tend to just label the businessman as like greedy,
Yeah.
just focused on profit.
Yeah.
But the article makes this super interesting comparison between profit and oxygen.
Okay.
It's suggesting that the fisherman, with his, just enough to get by lifestyle, he doesn't have a safety net.
Hmm.
He's got no surplus to like act as a buffer if something unexpected happens.
Oh, I see what you're saying. So it's not about just getting rich. It's about having that financial cushion, like that oxygen to deal with whatever life throws at you.
Exactly. Think about it. Unexpected medical bills, job loss, needing to help family members.
Right,
The
right.
businessman, by building this profitable business, he's creating options and security that the fisherman just doesn't have.
That's a good point. It's easy to romanticize a simple life, but the reality is like stuff happens and having that financial security can make a huge difference.
No, totally. And the article even goes so far as to say that the fisherman might actually be kind of selfish.
Whoa, hold on. I'm not sure I'm following that. The fisherman isn't hurting anyone. He's just living within his means. How is that selfish?
It's a really interesting point, right?
Yeah.
The article's argument is that he's choosing to coast just taking care of himself,
Okay.
while the businessman, through his business, is actively contributing to society, creating jobs, generating wealth that could potentially benefit a lot of people.
So the businessman's ambition, even though it seems self-serving on the surface, could actually be driving a bigger positive impact.
Yeah, that's the idea they're exploring in the article. It's reframing ambition, not as just this individualistic thing, but as a force that can create opportunities for others.
That's pretty cool.
It's about producing more than you consume, not just with like money, but with your overall contribution to the world.
Wow. Okay. So we've gone from profit is greed to profit is oxygen, and now ambition can be selfless.
Right.
This is making me rethink some things. Am I playing it too safe? Could I be doing more to, make a positive impact, create a surplus that benefits others?
It's a great question, and the article really wants us to ask ourselves, it's not about everyone becoming some kind of tycoon.
Right.
It's more about the mindset.
Yeah, like examining your values and asking, am I using my talents to create something valuable for others? Am I contributing to the world in a meaningful way?
Exactly. It's about finding that balance where you're taking care of yourself, but also generating a surplus, whether it's financial, intellectual, or even just kindness.
It's really interesting because this conversation is making me realize this fisherman and businessman story, it's not just some abstract thing. It has real implications for how we actually live our lives.
I agree. It challenges us to rethink success, ambition, and our role in society. And it doesn't stop at financial wealth either.
Yeah, right. You could apply this to skills, knowledge, time, even compassion, like all these areas where we can generate a surplus that benefits others.
Exactly. We all have something to offer,
Yeah.
something we can contribute to make things better.
Yeah, and that's really powerful. But there's another layer to this whole story that I find super interesting.
Oh, really? What's that?
Well, the article talks about this concept of coasting through life, and it ties in directly with this whole idea of surplus and contributing.
Interesting.
You were saying something about this idea of coasting.
Yeah, so like imagine just kind of cruising through life, just doing the bare minimum to get by, living paycheck to paycheck.
Right.
Are you really creating any surplus then?
No, not really.
Yeah.
Just meeting your immediate needs.
Exactly. And that's where things get really interesting because when something unexpected happens, a sudden illness, job loss, a natural disaster who steps in to provide support.
Right.
It usually falls on the government, charities, families, even who might already be struggling themselves.
So basically, the responsibility shifts to those who are producing a surplus, the ones who are investing, building businesses, and paying taxes.
Exactly. The article is suggesting that by coasting, you might actually be putting more pressure on those support systems that are supposed to be there for everyone.
I see.
It's saying that individual responsibility goes beyond just looking out for yourself.
Yeah.
It's also about contributing to the collective good, helping to create that safety net.
That's an interesting take on it. It makes me think about like the whole minimalism trend. Is the article saying that wanting a simpler life is bad?
No, not at all. Remember, the main point is about producing more than you consume.
Right.
It's not about having a fancy lifestyle. It's more about a mindset.
So it's about looking at your values and asking yourself, am I using my skills and my resources to create something valuable? Am I making a positive impact?
Exactly. It's all about finding that sweet spot where you're meeting your own needs, but also creating a surplus.
Yeah.
Whether that's financial, intellectual, or even just in terms of kindness and compassion.
It's pretty cool because this whole conversation is making me realize that this fisherman and businessman story, it's not just a story. It actually relates to our everyday choices.
For sure. It really makes us rethink our definition of success.
Yeah.
And what it means to be ambitious and how we fit into society.
Yeah.
And it's not just about money either, right?
Right. You can apply this to all sorts of things: skills, knowledge, time, even compassion.
Absolutely. We all have something unique to offer, something to contribute to make the world a little better.
That's a good point. It's like a call to action to step up and be more than just consumers, to be creators and contributors.
Exactly. And to find fulfillment, not just in taking care of ourselves, but in using our skills and resources to benefit others. But this conversation sparked a thought for me, something the article didn't really go into. What if we applied this whole surplus idea to the realm of ideas?
A surplus of ideas. I'm intrigued. Tell me more.
A surplus of ideas.
Yeah, surplus of ideas.
It's interesting, right? We've been talking about like creating a surplus of money and resources and kindness. But when you think about the problems we face, like poverty and climate change, all these huge issues, they need new thinking.
Yeah, for sure.
They need creative solutions. So what if we approached ideas with that same surplus mindset?
So instead of just taking in information, we should be actively trying to come up with new ideas, like almost building up a reserve of intellectual capital.
Yeah, exactly. It's about being more than just passive learners.
Right.
It's about really engaging with the world, questioning things, connecting the dots in new ways, coming up with our own insights.
That makes sense, but how do we actually create that surplus of ideas? It's not like we can just snap our fingers and they appear.
Right, you can't force it.
Yeah.
It starts with being curious, reading a lot, listening to different viewpoints and asking why, a lot more. Be open to trying new things, even things that make you a little uncomfortable intellectually.
It's like we need to become idea entrepreneurs, taking risks, testing things out.
That's a great way to put it. Just like a good business creates jobs and opportunities, a surplus of ideas can lead to innovation and progress for everyone.
This has been such a cool conversation. It's really changed how I think about the fisherman and the businessman. It's not just about money anymore. It's about a much bigger idea of success. It's about what we contribute to society, our impact on the world, and using our ideas to make positive change.
And we can all be businessmen in that way. We all have the potential to come up with new ideas, to be innovative, to make a difference.
This whole deep dive has been amazing. We've challenged those old interpretations, redefined success, and explored the power of ideas. But now it's your turn. What surplus are you creating? How are you contributing to the world? What unique perspective or idea can you offer?
Remember, it's not just about working more. It's about working differently. Not for yourself, but for something bigger.
Yeah. Find ways to make a positive impact. Create a surplus that benefits everyone.
Exactly.
Keep thinking about these questions as you go about your day. Maybe you'll be inspired to create a ripple effect of your own. Until next time, keep diving deep.